Good morning, and thank you, Mark, for setting up this whole program. And thank you, Alex, for your professionalism and handholding. Thanks. I am now formally attached to the CEPA program, but I am a coach of FAs, trainees, and wholesalers and branch management personnel. A basic tenet of the business, I believe, is that everything is interconnected and interrelated. So hopefully I can give some value to the project. We are in a relationship business. We work with people. As you know, our ability to communicate is paramount to our success. Where our business models can be and are all different, we all have but one process. Our process has 6 components: networking, business development, discovery. We all need to elicit information from the prospect client. Wealth planning strategy, understanding the needs and goals of a client and turn it into a coherent strategy. Investment strategy, investing to meet the strategic needs and goals of a wealth strategy. Implementation and ongoing review. How do we illustrate meeting of needs and goals through performance metrics in a collaborative manner? Business model, a definable, repeatable, and scalable process with defined FA and CSA handoffs. This is our one process, but how each one of us executes the process is totally up to each individual, our experience, and knowledge level. And we have a lot to learn. To execute our process, we are all faced with an overwhelming amount of training and learning to establish a core competency to work effectively with clients. Just the mandatory training on tech systems, continuing ed, and new products is daunting. So I think we can all agree that no one has the ability to learn and know all that we can possibly know, even if we studied for years. So the first big takeaway is there's no one who can possibly learn all the subjects that we can use in our everyday business. This is a long-term process. And all of you have decided to add a new expertise that has multiple disciplines. But in my opinion, this is not an additional extra information expertise that you are learning. Instead, it is only the sticks that you chose to pick up instead of another. We all should consider a strategy tactic for what we need to know and when do we need to know each subject. Each new level of learning can be considered a building block to an expertise. We should have a strategy for expertise development. I liken it to pick up sticks. Which stick does each one of us pick up first, second, 10th, 50th, and so on, based upon our own personalities, beliefs, industry knowledge level, client-facing skill sets, sales skill sets, personal preferences, and target clientele. In other words, there will be things that we learn, some things that we will learn well, and other things that we will have mastered. There is an infinite way to approach what we have to learn, master, and use in our business. The approach that we will look at in this presentation is to try and understand each client touch point with a prospect client and our prospect. In other words, we look to define and master the 7 client touch points in our process. Today, we will work through the first 3 client touch points. First, words articulation. Before we can build out our networking strategies, we have to understand what our clients want to hear from us, and then how do we articulate it. Second, networks. What are our 6 basic networks, client interactions that we need to build, and how do we use them? Third, base presentation. Our base presentation are who you are, what you do, and how you do it. Our 6-part process has 7 client touch points. These 7 touch points can be defined, refined, and mastered. Our clients' beliefs, hopes, fears, goals, needs, and desires are constantly changing as their personal situations and market conditions evolve. As professionals, we should not only be consistently monitoring client studies to understand broad trends of our client views, but then adopt what is important to our clients, adapt to our own speaking pattern, and then learn to be adept at delivery. Adopt, adapt, adept. An important lesson to remember is that first we must get over the walls set up by high net worth clients before we can begin to sell them. Basically, we must be invited over the wall as high net worth clients work through referrals. High net worth and ultra high net worth clients have clearly told us in multiple studies they want 4 things: generational advice, tax and risk mitigation, and addressing all their needs and goals. What are our clients looking for when they look to hire an FA? What are they telling us is important to them? And can we adopt their words and feelings into effective communications and the business model? We are going to look at the top 4 items of our clients' wish list and try to incorporate this information to formulate our speaking patterns and our business model. Now, tax knowledge is tied for first. Now, I know we've been saying we do not do taxes for the last 30 years, including me, but we've been wrong. Who are the experts on taxes? Us or the accountants? Accountants tell us what they have to pay in taxes. We tell our clients, if you employ this tax strategy, we can reduce your taxes by this much. We are the experts on taxes on investment, and the accountant confirms our strategy. So we do not build tax-efficient portfolios. We do not have performance. We have after-tax performance. We do not sell alternatives. We are experts at tax strategies using alternatives. When a wholesaler walks into your office, what 2 questions do you always want to ask? What is your biggest ticket, and what is your best tax strategy? The biggest ticket tells you if it's a high net worth product, and the tax strategy teaches you how to sell it. This answer is tied for first with tax knowledge, so it's critically important, and what our clients want. And it is important to us if we want to communicate effectively. The Internet of Things, IoT, is the new world in which we live, where everyone researches everything online before they reach out and touch or buy or speak to us. Our job is more from being the fount of all information for our clients to assisting them in coming to an informed decision, collaboration. Now, we know clients do not like the word solution because it implies they have a problem and we have the answer. They like the word strategy. It implies collaboration and that we're a partner. To me, this is about doing your own research online, IoT, but double checking with a pro before a final decision because it is a big purchase and you do not want to make any basic mistakes. Clients want a partner to assist them in making their decision-making process. It is their decision-making process, not yours. This concept plays out in our sales pitches. HBR studies show that when 2 people have a difference of opinion on any subject, no matter how trivial, fight or flight is kicked off in our bodies. There are hundreds of physiological changes, but the 2 biggest are our hearing and peripheral vision declined by 80%. Not really conducive to sales. So if, for example, you pitch a portfolio with 15% EM and you have not ascertained by asking, what do you think? What does your research show you? That the prospect has formulated an opinion that EM should not be part of the portfolio. Fight or flight kicks in, successful engagement is gone. As the top 4 reasons that we are chosen, 3 are our ability to work collaboratively as a partner. 3, to be viewed as a partner and to work collaboratively, we have to show respect to the prospect client. We know they research before they meet with us. Give them respect for their research and assist them in making an informed decision that they will accept. Yes, they could have arrived at a decision based on good information, bad information, or misinformation. It doesn't matter. As HBR says, by doing their own research, they develop an opinion, and it is that opinion that we have to work with. It is so easy just to ask, what do you think? What does your research tell you at the beginning, in the middle, and through the entire engagement process? Not just at the end when you make a presentation saying, this is what I think you should do. A very successful FA who doubled his assets from 800 million to 1.5 billion over 3 years called to tell me that, and that these 2 questions were the most powerful things that he learned from me and drove his asset growth. Now, Goldman Sachs ran a study on understanding how clients react to pricing points. Interestingly, they found that if a price point could be divided by 5, 10, or 25, the client was about 20% less likely to accept the price point. So you are more likely to have a client accept 81 bips versus 75 bips. The study was clear that Goldman Sachs didn't understand for sure why this happened, but they felt that the client believed that they must have a reason to quote 81 bips, where 75 bips seems like a throwaway. Specificity demands respect. Nobody likes fees, no one. But when we discuss our cost, we can adopt the best words to use to facilitate getting paid for our work. Which word should you use? Your call. Effective communication is a skill set. We are the professional. We know this because we get paid. It is incumbent on us to know the best way to communicate and understand our clients. It is not our client's job to understand us so they can communicate effectively with us. We learned some words to use. Now we can move to the next phase with phrasing. I'm going to glance over these 2 pages, but I would encourage you to read through the new phrases and to begin the process of honing your communication skill set. The point here is there are no throwaway lines. Everything we say has import. If it is important and we can define the touch point, we should master our response. I charge a 1% fee or cost is a combination of complexity, expertise, and the time to deliver these results to meet your needs and goals. Some more, again, just for your edification. Finally, phrases to concepts, to sales concepts, to client-facing concepts. In the end, I believe what we concentrate on is mastering our client-facing skill sets. All our knowledge and expertise is useless if we cannot communicate effectively. As we move from phrases to concept, we also move to a mixture of verbal and written communication. When we start with our articulation, or it used to be called an elevator speech, this is where we can articulate to a prospect that we understand them and they can speak to us about their issues. Remember the 4 things high net worth clients want from us? Tell them that it is you. I'm a senior partner at the ABC group at RBC, which employs a multi-generational model by using tax-efficient and risk mitigation strategies to help you maintain your current lifestyle while planning for all your long-term needs and goals. Here's another. How you say the concepts is entirely up to you, but the prospect is looking to see if they can first relate to you and then can they work with you. Tell them that you understand them. Tell them that they can relate to you and tell them why they can work with you. We speak about our business as our brand and our brand is our business. This is my brand and it represents how I would conduct my business and how I would communicate to my client prospects based on what high net worth clients told us what they want. For me, it is important to recognize that the person has multiple people that they work with and that this is expected. Think about a high net worth business owner. How many lawyers could, would, should they have? Business, tax, employment, government regulation, state, federal, ESOP, divorce, estate lawyer. If we go to a high net worth person and say that we do it all, one stop, we will have very little credibility. I tell them I view them in a holistic manner and work with different professionals to deliver advice on investment, taxes, and estate planning. Do I deliver this in a formal manner? No, but it's the outline of what you can expect. Right? Mr. Client, we know and understand our clients have multiple financial accounts. Average high net worth client, 7.4. But in the end, you're only one person and have one strategy. That strategy is made up of 3 components: investments, taxes, and estate planning. Your financial accounts may and probably are managed by different professionals, including yourself. But in the end, they are reflective of only one person, you. Therefore, it is important for you to at least understand that your portfolios are working together to meet your goals by maximizing your risk-adjusted after-tax return. So what is my one client, one strategy set up? If you're going with a holistic business approach to your advice, then we will need to be able to speak to our clients about aggregation strategy. And we also have to make a case that we are the professionals to assist them in this analysis. Aggregation is the gateway to high net worth and ultra high net worth clients. Small clients, doesn't matter at all. Again, whatever designation you have, I have the CPM, I have the CEPA designation, which means to you, I've been trained to build, analyze, and understand the different metrics of your different portfolio, blah, 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 blah. Okay? So how does this translate to a center of influence, a COI? Let's say you meet an accountant at a lunch event. What do you say? We've been working with an accountant in your area and he just retired. And we work together with our clients in a holistic manner by addressing the three components of their personal strategy: investments, taxes, and estate planning. What I'd like to know, are you a fit with our clients? Same concepts, different target. By the way, just a couple of days ago, I saw the CPA group came out and said that CPAs have declined from 440,000 to 400,000. They proposed cutting the educational requirements in half to attract more CPAs. They have the same issue as our industry. Can you tell someone how you think of investing? Not a portfolio, but a thought process. If a client asked you, what would you say? I build balanced portfolios. My philosophy is based on tax-efficient investment. Brand is your business, business is your brand. Our client-facing skill sets include our ability to identify someone with me, have the knowledge of their lifestyle so we can understand what motivates them. And finally, when the opportunity presents itself, we can score. More often than not, our opportunities are not planned, but happen in everyday life. When I speak of networking, what that means to you is that we prepare ourselves for a possible one-off engagement. Let's say you're in an event, any school, business, or sport. And during the event, you're casually speaking to someone and you ascertain, they've purchased a lot of private equity. What do you say to that person? Can I call you with our next deal? Or you might say, so you must be employing a direct indexing tax strategy so you can reduce the amount of taxes you pay on your private equity distribution. What's easier to sell, a strategy or product? Strategy. What will a high net worth client think of you? A product salesman or a possible partner? Now, everyone employs at least two strategies: people they know and people that we don't. For the people we know, there is a separate strategy. For the rest, we can start by focusing on the people that own stocks and, more importantly, have enough money to pay us. It is my opinion that the same 7% of the people who can afford to pay us are the same 7% of the people who have an accountant, making an accountant a primary referral source. For all the people that we know, 7% of 355 relationships is 25. Think of FA trainees. 25 to 30 relationships is normally tier 1. 20 relationships, tier 2. 10 relationships, tier 3. The firms know these numbers. The vast percentage of FA relationships are under $1 million, and thereby there lies our expertise. Now, I coach many individual teams who have 8, 10, 18, 26, 37 relationships over $10 million. What that means to me is that 70, 80, 90% of the FAs do not have one relationship over 10 million. For every FA's goal, every year, is to add at least one relationship over 10 million. Why? A single person needs 12 million and a married couple 24 million for any real estate planning. Where can we add value and get paid? All of us should think through a strategy to move up the value chain as we are being pressured on the low end by online offerings. Now, the National Sales Executive Association came out with a study last year about the new world of networking and how many touches they believe we need for us to close and how many touches we actually make. Business development is now more about farming than hunting, i.e. cold calling. But you can see here, 80% of sales are made between the 5th and the 12th contact. Yet, when you add it up, 48, 25, and 12, 90% of us don't get through the first 3. No close. Now, Harvard Business Review defines touches in the new world. Now, we need 7 of them, normally to close. Dovetails with the national executive number. Luckily for us, we have multiple ways to reach out, but it also means that we have to develop campaign strategy, not just getting some FA trainee to cold call for us. That is no longer a viable option. for neither you nor the FA trainee. Today, we will only speak to external networks. Internal are equally important, but they are a nuanced and time-consuming discussion for another day. We have multiple networks, but we all have one brand, one message. Our goal is to identify and master the client touchpoints for our networks. Remember, networks means to us that we understand each prospect's network. That is that the prospect's a doctor, lawyer, business owner, because we have mastered that client touchpoint. Case in point, a son or a daughter soccer team, 15 members, 15 set of parents, doctors, lawyers, business people, business owners, stay-at-home mom and dads, firemen, etc. Is this my daughter's soccer team network? Or should each member be identified by their occupation and socioeconomic status? Your call. Primary networks are identified by other professionals that have direct access to our clients, whether we're aware of them or not. Primary networks are also part of a shared solution: taxes, investment, and estate planning, FA, accountant, estate attorney. Our goal with our primary network is to be a value-added partner. We do not treat them as prospects. You are not trying to close them. Feed them information that is pertinent to their business. When I started in the business, my dad told me that I have one job, and that job is to make my boss look smart and my boss's boss to look smart. If you can supply important tax information and tax strategies to an accountant, you will get referrals, and probably in the end, their business. But getting their business is not the goal. Referrals are. At your daughter's soccer game, you speak with the mom and she's an accountant. What do you say? We have developed and used a presentation built for accountant for when we were campaigning, i.e. cold calling accountants and setting up an initial meeting to start the process of being a value partner. But here, we are only trying to get over the wall so we can speak to them about a shared future in business. Mr. COI, I'm a senior advisor at the ABC Group and RBC. We recently had an accountant that some of our clients use retire. We understand that our clients have multiple financial accountants and advisors, but they only have one strategy. That strategy is made up of 3 components: investment, tax, estate planning. What we'd like to know, are you a fit with our clients? A partner, a valued partner. Estate planners are part of the ultra high net worth segment and are difficult to approach only because our books tend to be made up of less wealthy clientele. But the point of going after estate attorneys gives us direct access to ultra high net worth clients, which in the end is our goal. So if it takes time, so be it. I'm a senior advisor at ABC Group. Our team specializes in collaborating with estate lawyers to tailored solutions that are not only preserve wealth, but also ensure a smooth transition across generation. We love the opportunity to discuss how we can collaborate to provide our clients with enhanced financial security and peace of mind. Secondary networks also have direct access to our client, but they're only selling a one-off product or service. We do not sell houses all the time and hope we don't get divorced even less. But again, if you're at an event or a neighborhood party, what would you say to a divorce attorney? Hope I never have to use you? Or, I'm a senior advisor at the ABC Group at RBC. We offer complimentary service for divorce attorney. That includes interviewing clients who are developing comprehensive financial plans, cash flow analysis, and portfolio construction based on the CDFA, the Certified Divorce Financial Analyst. Good. If you're interested, I can email you a package tomorrow. When I took over in office, I had 3 FAs that had more than 50 years at the firm and in the business. One of the FAs at the firm had given him a CSA who was to move his clients from commission to fee-based. She came in one day, she was very upset, as the older FA's clients were dying off from old age, and by the time her FA retired or died, the book would be gone. So I suggested she employ the divorce attorney campaign by first getting her CDFA and prospecting divorce attorneys. She passed the CDFA and started off. She came to me and she said the strategy wasn't working. And I asked, how do you know? I met with a divorce attorney yesterday. And he said they do all the analysis in-house. I said, what did the others say? She says, well, I only met with one. I said, okay, after 100, come back and see me. Shortly after that, I left the firm to start my own consulting business. Over a year or two later, I was at a Merrill Lynch office in New Jersey, waiting in the front for my meeting with my FA. And on the TV, there's the TV on there, no sound. And on the TV, lo and behold, who was sitting there being interviewed? But my CSA FA. The tape going underneath identified her as the broker to divorce attorneys. Look up Rachel Gottlieb at UBS. She now heads the Gottlieb Rose Group that has 1.6 billion in assets, and she's a managing director. There's a business model for everyone. We just have to find out what works for you. Now, a real estate agent. We don't buy and sell houses every day. So what do you tell a real estate agent? We feed them information on alternative methodologies of buying the house. What are your rates? What is the portfolio loan? In other words, we have to show them our lending capabilities. Build a social media network of real estate agents where you can pass on funding ideas and costs. Information, not sales. Tertiary networks of friends and family. Nothing is more difficult to figure out than how do we engage family and friends. We can use an informal, information-driven social media relationship that indicates to them that they can ask you about the subject you posted. In other words, how do we set up a network that encourages family and friends to ask us questions? We spend a lot of time working through different scenarios and developing coherent strategies, but that is a big subject for another day. Let's work through CEPA. I asked ChatGPT, why would a small business owner in Minnesota work with a CEPA? It gave 8 reasons. Strategic exit planning, maximizing business value, tax optimization, and risk management. Any of these look familiar to us? Succession and financial planning, market knowledge, and coordination with other advisors. I would say we have some working knowledge of at least 2 disciplines, financial planning and coordinating with other advisors. Each of you may have other skills I'm unaware of, but most of these disciplines are not financial industry main expertise, but rather a subset of expertise pertaining to small business owners. So I asked ChatGPT to distill the 8 disciplines into one sentence statement of skill sets. I am a certified planning advisor. I can assist you in developing a comprehensive exit strategy, maximize your business value. I felt this was too stilted, so I edited it myself. As a certified exit planning advisor, I can assist you in creating a comprehensive succession or exit strategy to optimize your business value by minimizing your taxes while aligning your financial goals with minimizing your risk to ensure a seamless transition. I believe I encapsulated the 8 disciplines, but I'm not sure how effective it is until someone uses it. Building a base presentation. We discussed what high net worth clients look for in a financial advisor and how we can develop our communications to mirror these desired traits. So, what do we need to convey to a client prospect when they visit our website to move them on to the next step? The client prospect doesn't know us well, and we do not know them well either. But the words we use indicate that they can possibly be a partner. Now, the prospect wants to know if they will feel comfortable working with us on personal strategies. What information do we want to tell this person? A stranger who goes to our website or in the first face-to-face meeting. We can tell them how smart we are, our titles, experience, industry knowledge, or how good our company is. But the prospect actually wants to know, can they relate to us so they can work with us? The base presentation is simple, and yet for whatever reason, it seems difficult for FAs to tell their prospect clients 3 simple thoughts: who you are, what you do, and how you do it. There are a few simple rules to consider. Use an iPad or tablet. This is a control issue. We want to control the narrative. If you hand your presentation to the client, they will concentrate on that instead of paying attention to you. Use a tablet. Next, if a slide looks like a paragraph, it is not a slide. Delete it. Rule of thumb. Nobody wants to or will ever read your presentation consciously. Nobody. They don't care. But in their mind's eye, they will read it and note and alert them if there's relevant information for them to see. Google David Blaine, Good Morning America, and watch him perform a trick on TV live using the mind's eye. Articulation is first every time. Remember, the FA doubled its assets over 3 years. We were finishing a session in this office with the whole team, and his client comes to the door. FA says, "We're done, come on in." The FA turns to me and says, "Hey, we're putting the articulation as a tagline in our email." The client says, "Yes, I saw it." So I asked him, "Do you remember what it said?" And the client said, "Yeah, it said something about tax efficient risk and needs and goals." Mission accomplished. First, who we are. I like this slide. Clean and no bios that look like a paragraph. People can make up their own minds about a new person they meet in 3 seconds. 3 seconds. People only need 6.5 seconds on a resume. Make your presentation accessible to your audience. Use bullet points to relay information to your audience that they may relate to. What school you attended, children, what sports they play, what schools they attend, charities, golf club. Any person is just going to flick their eyes over the presentation. If it is in paragraph form, they will not be able to read it. It is a human thing. Nothing we can do will ever change that. But their mind's eye will read it, and we need to make the slide accessible to the client's mind eye by using bullet points. When I perused this, my mind's eye told me to look at 1 and 3. I was surprised as 2 and 3 are father and son. But my mind's eye had noted that 1 and 3 went to St. Joe's, the same college as my father. I related to this fact. I didn't read the slide, but my mind's eye told me, look at this relatable piece of information. We show our designations this way for a reason, because we want to make it about them, the client, not us. This is how we speak. The CFP means to you that we are trained to understand you in a holistic manner and help you with all your needs and goals. The CPM means to you that we've been trained to build tax-efficient, risk-adjusted portfolios to assist you in meeting all your needs and goals. The portfolio manager designation means to you that we have chosen to work with our client on the discretionary platform. This means to you that even though our firm is not a fiduciary firm, we and our firm must work with you in a fiduciary capacity. The alternative investment director means to you we are experts at tax strategies using alternatives. The CEPA designation means to you that we are trained and affiliated with the relevant expertise to value your business and to develop a multi-generational tax-efficient exit strategy. Second, what do we do? To me, everyone knows we're an investment. If you say I work at Merrill, Morgan, UBS, RBC, or whatever, they know we do investment. So what do we want to tell them? All the things they don't know we do. The slide is designed so that when, not if, a client flicks their eyes over the page, what do they see? Wealth planning, insurance, lending at a glance. Mission accomplished. Finally, how do we do it? This is our process. Yes, it is high level, but we only want to show them that we have a process. Mission accomplished. I want to thank you for all your time, and hopefully you can take a few lessons and use them. I wish you luck in developing your business model for small business owners. The most important thing to me is that there are only 2 ways our revenue grows up, and one, we have no control. The market can rise, increasing our fee-based revenue, or we can raise net new assets. One we can control, one we cannot. Design your business model to consistently meet new high net worth and ultra-high net worth people. Learn how to communicate effectively and train yourself and your team to new expertise and discipline that are building blocks of tax and risk strategies. Any questions or comments for the good of the whole? Thank you for your time.